the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
British Broadcasting Corporation ayetwanitia efreno BBC etimi Ghana Foreign Minister Yewura Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa enim ase basa because adie Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa enye no Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa e de aba betu dwa se waye na BBC for etimi abe expose na gu nanim ase basa pa enye asem koto na di asem na Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa etimi eba be kan BBC for etimi abete ne to gu nanim ase enye asem koto Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa de ba betu dwa se one China ban no akotena se tariff yede etimi atoye so no yade se one no akasa ma China ban no etimi ayi de afiri Ghana for so atadwe ene de yate dende ode ba betu dwa ene Ghana for ani age bo Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa abaso enya asem koto anche na BBC de ba betu edwa se enye Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa na ne China ban no ekokotena ase na de yentie de Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa kan o se woni China ban no kra ekodi o se Ghana Minister for Foreign Affairs Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa has announced that China will now allow all goods from Ghana to enter the Chinese market with 0% tariffs. Speaking after high-level talk with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, Mr. Ablakwa described the agreement as productive and impactful. Inti Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa describe agreement no kyerese one China Foreign Minister no ekokotena ase ekasa na won enyina agitu mu se enioma Ghana etimi adifiri akọ China no sa eto eda so no enyina eyade se won ayi afiri so inti Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa se one Chinese Foreign Minister ene kokotena ase ena won etimi agree na ode yentwa so. He reviewed the new tariff-free deal will cover 100% of Ghana export goods, aiming to boost trade, create jobs, and support local entrepreneurs. China is already Ghana's biggest trading partner, Mr. Ablakwa said. Last year, our trade volume reached over $11 billion. This new move will strengthen the partnership even more. The agreement was reached during a bilateral meeting held alongside the ongoing China-Africa Summit in Qinsha, China. Inti Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa so no ene koko pie mu ewo China ene China aban no Foreign Minister ekokotena ase eye agreement se enioma no ayetimi ede ba be pie mu ewo China ne to na eguso no yeni nyina emfiri so na yenhwe de BBC for nso this is the BBC so or say China ready to drop all tariffs on African import. China has said it is already to drop the tariffs it charged on import from all 53 African countries with which it has diplomatic relations. Intinya Ghana nkwa enye Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa na ne Chinese Foreign Ministry kwotena ase won agitu mu se eto no enioma yede kokopie mu amanane no yenyimfiri so enye Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa ene ye nimum China ban no ene tena ase ene ohwe African countries ne se sisi enioma no mode ba China to eda so nyina me yi ade afiri so enye Ghana nkwa African countries mako 53 ena meyi da tariffs etimi ede afrim so ntia ba ne sei ena Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa ede kokoto dwa se oni China Foreign Minister akotena ase agreement ekyere se enioma yede ko China nyina yade se enya ade se yede etuo ebegusu ebio nti kyere se Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa sem no kan no boa enye ono ene ko sign agreement bia China for no ane tena ase ena omu se African countries no was the move announced at a China-Africa cooperation meeting comes as the continent is facing the possibility of increased tariffs on its product entering the US. Into US are buying taxes no odibe gu oman for so no China and so say one ede account yes majority of the countries in your nti sɛ saa ɛna ɛteɛ deɛ a ɛne yɛnyidi yɛ deɛ mfɛmfiri wɔ sɛnea nneɛma no ɛbɛtumi aba abɛpie mu ɛwɔ China ɛkyerɛ sɛ Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa nsɛm a ɔde ba bɛto dwa no ɛnyɛ adeɛ sɛ ɛyɛ nokorɛ. China ban ɛna ɛhu Africafoɔ ɛmmɔbɔ.
Fire on Akufo-Addo. Fire on Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo said the presidential jet is gone on servicing, so I flew a plane from New York to Accra. Okudzeto had the amount of money. Everybody was sort of, Akufo-Addo shouldn't spend that kind of money just traveling. And then the matters became worse when defense minister went to parliament and apparently murmured something like, Akufo-Addo cannot even take a shower in the plane. He was not even speaking on the floor. I think he murmured it. When he was talking, people were, parliament, they heckle quite a bit. And they said that, oh, but the plane, he cannot even bath in it. And they said, hey, did you hear what he said? He cannot bath in it. He cannot bath in the plane. President wants to bath in the plane. Cartoons were developed out of it. I went to see the defense minister back in the day. I don't know, those of you what Good Evening Ghana will remember. I interviewed him in his office. I brought the tape. We played it. Try as they did, it was very difficult because the circumstances of the economy as it is today was quite difficult. Kenke had just approached 5 cities in those days. Everybody was angry. And then they heard that the president is flying some private jet and da-da-da-da-da. Ablakwa took advantage of it and milked it completely. He actually over-milked it until the point where he granted this interview to Adom FM. Have a look at the interview.
NDC banner nipa wodi animu no kofi fasa private jet bia na wo wa ban mu you resign.
I'll resign because what
resign
why should I stay there? Me resign because the mayor is on principle and yet personal and yes say idea me time President Akufo-Addo and as I mean President Akufo-Addo. It's the principle. It's about protecting the public purse.
NDC banner nipa wodi animu no kofi fasa private jet bia na wo wa ban mu you resign.
I'll resign because what
resign
why should I stay there? Me resign because the mayor is on principle and yet personal and yes say idea me time President Akufo-Addo and as I mean President Akufo-Addo. It's the principle.
Viewers, what shall we say to these things? This is Okudzeto Ablakwa. He's not just any minister at all. Oh. Today he's the foreign minister, and therefore he must have had a role to play in the decisions made by the government on how the vice president returns to Ghana. He's the foreign minister and also one of the great pets of the vice president. The vice president, and I say pet, I mean pet in quotes. The vice president really likes him because they work together at education. And the vice president has testified on Ablakwa many, many times. And he's a good guy. There's no doubt about that. But he's not just, you see how God works. You see, God can embarrass you. This is God embarrassing people. You are foreign. He's not a Greek minister. If he's a Greek minister there, he's sitting somewhere looking at his farm, doing planting for food and jobs and doing nkokon kete and those things. And the vice president flies over his head and comes to Accra. Fair enough. But here you are, Minister for Foreign Affairs. Vice president goes to London, it's foreign affairs. Vice president is coming from London, it's foreign affairs. So right in the foreign affairs, right on his desk, he must have played a role in the decisions that were made to fly this luxurious private jet. We have no problem with that decision. We think it is correct. It's a correct decision. The vice president has been unwell. She's coming in. In fact, even if we still had the presidential jet, but it wasn't in the state as comfortable as can take somebody who is just recovering from some short illness, we shall still fly a presidential jet. How much is the flying the presidential jet for Ghana? Ghana's GDP is what? Flying the vice president who needs it. Needs it is the point. The vice president needed that. Why should we not do it? We should do it. But because of what Ablakwa said to milk people and to get power, that is why we are talking today. Otherwise, it is nothing. If this happens in other jurisdictions, it is zero. Because some of those politicians don't do what we do in Ghana. I always told you that Jogate told me that people don't respect politicians because of what politicians say about politicians. People think parliamentarians are thieves because of what parliamentarians... Have you ever heard an American congressman saying that another congressman who is in power is a thief? Have you ever heard a British MP saying that another MP in the government is a thief? They never say these things because they know that you can't prove it. So you shouldn't say it. They argue with them, they tackle them, but they never call them names like thief and crook and all that. But here in Ghana, because some people know that without that, they cannot come to power, they cannot argue on the basis of what is happening and bring them to power. They always must take advantage of human feelings. Economy is difficult. Price of maize is high. Price of kenke is high. So the president is a thief. That is why the price of kenke is high. Cecilia Dapa is a thief. That is why you are broke. That's why the country is broke. Because Cecilia Dapa has stolen all the country's money and put in her house. 6 months into office, Cecilia Dapa has not been even questioned. That's a beautiful video of the vice president arriving. Oh, yeah, I like this video. I like this video. Oh, that's President Mahama. You know, President Mahama is very calm. He allowed his wife to do the embrace and all of that. I think that's great. Let's get back to that Blakwa story. So this is Samuel Okudzeto. He has played a role in this video that you just saw in getting the vice president in. He sat on radio because he wanted Ghanaians to look at him as a saint and therefore elect the NDC into power. He said, which he didn't have to say, that whenever he's in power, and he didn't even limit it to the president too. He said the president or the vice president does something like this, he will resign from the government, assuming that he will have a ministerial position. That's what he said. That he will resign. Now he's foreign minister, and he's the one who has given birth to this story. The story of Jenano Pokwa Jeman flying in a private jet to Ghana. Ablakwa said, if this happens, he will resign. Do I think he should resign? No, he shouldn't. He's a young man, just started a foreign ministry. He has opportunity to make something happen. Why should he resign? I don't think he should resign. But he must have the presence of mind to come out and apologize to Ghanaians. Like Fifi Kwete did at the appointments committee. Ablakwa must apologize to Ghanaians that I said it. I meant it then, but looking at the circumstances now, I shouldn't have said that. He should say it. He, Ablakwa of all people, should say. Otherwise, one day, he may find himself as foreign minister flying the private jet himself. God knows how to let that happen. He knows how to let Ablakwa himself fly a private jet into Kotoka International Airport. And he will wash his face and wonder whether he's dreaming, and he will not be dreaming. It is he, Ablakwa, who has flown. Do you remember Peter? When Jesus told Peter that you will deny him, he said, you saw what happened. So Ablakwa should apologize. Otherwise, one day, God will make he Ablakwa himself, foreign minister. He will fly a private jet. He will forget. He will sit in a jet in New York. He will forget that he has said that. He will arrive and pictures will be taken. He'll say, but you are the one who said it. And when the Professor Jenna now what happened, you didn't even happen. Now you've done it yourself. These are the things we say about politicians. Learn how to talk. Don't over milk. Don't overtake advantage when you are in opposition. Be careful. Today I saw Franklin Kujo post something on Sam George. And he said, be careful what you say in opposition. I'm going to get to that as well. Sam George said so many things that if you play before him today, he has to dodge. He has to run away. So did Ablakwa. The desperation to get Akufo-Addo's government out of power without dealing with the substantial issues, but trying to deal with issues that will give you an advantage in opposition. Everybody in opposition can take advantage of it. I can organize a demonstration today that the dollar has gone down. Why is KK not going down? And then one day, a government will be in power. I will be there. And they'll say, hey, Paul Adomoshe, you were the one who organized the demonstration that KK should go down. You are in government. The dollar is this way. Why is KK not? Resign. But because I understand and I'm trying to build maturity, I watch the processes and deal with the substance. Not so much taking advantage of what has happened. You can't do that in politics. You can't. And Ablakwa must be ashamed of himself. He must be really ashamed of himself. Play the Adom FM video again, just once. Play the video again.
NDC banani pa wodi animu no kofi fasa private jet bia na wo wa ban no you resign.
I'll resign because what
resign
why should I stay there? Me resign because the mayor is on principle and yet personal and yet say dia me time President Akufo-Addo and as Nsem-Pii President Debbie. It's the principle. It's about protecting the public purse.
NDC banani pa wodi animu no kofi fasa private jet bia na wo wa ban no you resign.
I'll resign because
resign
why should I stay there? Me resign because the mayor is on principle and yet personal and yet say dia me time President Akufo-Addo and as Nsem-Pii President Debbie. It's the principle. It's about protecting the public purse.
NDC banani pa wodi animu no kofi fasa private jet bia na wo wa ban no you resign.
I'll resign because
resign
why should I stay there? Me resign because the mayor is on principle and yet personal and yet say dia me time President Akufo-Addo and as Nsem-Pii President Debbie. it's the principle. It's about protecting the public purse.
Sir, NDC banana pa wodi animu no kofi fasa private jet bia. Now who are benuma you resign.
I'll resign. Because what
resign?
What may resign? Why should I stay there? May resign because the million is on principle and your personal. And yes, idea made time President Akufo-Addo and as I mean President Akufo-Addo. It's the principle. It's about protecting the public purse.
Sir, NDC banana pa wodi animu no kofi fasa private jet bia. Now who are benuma you resign.
I have a copy here and I'll share mine with you. And Chairman, may I request that he has a copy of the mandate agreement. I'd like to have your copy for my purposes. Section 38 doesn't have a 1.
Mr. Chairman, the honourable member
38A and B.
Mr. Chairman, the law has been amended, Mr. Chairman. And I think that you're not this house amended the law. So there's now a section 38.1 and a section 38.2. And I have the consolidated version because I'm a member of the PPA board. So you are misleading my very good friend. Mr. Chairman, that is why I said that the law was amended way back in 2016. It was amended in 2016 before this letter was written. So I have the current one, and I can give the House a copy.
Section 38. The Public Procurement Amendment of 2016. Is there a further amendment to the 2016?
Mr. Chairman,
no, let him answer.
No, Mr. Chairman, it is the same one which incorporated a subsection 2. So the law, section 38 of Assessment 3 now has 2 provisions, section 38.1 and section 38.2. So, Mr. Chairman, I think that, and that was before, most importantly, that was before the letter was written. So I'm right in saying that the provisions have been 38.1. And I have the
section 38.1.
Yes, 38.1A. So I have the consolidated version.
Just read your act title. Is it Act 914? I have no difficulty conceding.
Yes.
I'm holding Act 914. Yes. I see a 38 in it. I don't see a 1. It has heading of parts 7 of Act 633 amended. So just share that with me to guide me. I have no difficulty conceding to you.
Right.
I have Act 914. Which act are you referring to? The number. Just give me your number. Act number. As amended.
So Act 914. Amended.
You are also referring to Act 914.
Yes, but the point I'm making is that Act 914 introduced an amendment which inserted a further subsection 2 into section 38. And therefore, section 38 of Assessment 3 should be construed to have 2
I'm fine. You are Attorney General. You are privy to it. Give me the date of gazette of the one you are holding. I have 12 May 2016. So just share yours with me.
The chairman is a consolidated Assessment 3.
There you go. These are the videos of the arrest of Chairman Wontumi. For those of you who are seeing it for the first time, these videos are from Asase Radios, several radio stations across. This is how they picked him up, and they sent him to the Iyoko headquarters. It was quite brash and quite brutal. This is a man who is under the investigations of the Criminal Investigations Department. Somehow, Iyoko is also saying that they needed him, and Iyoko did not invite him. They actually crossed his car, and then, the guy is with CID, so they could have told CID that when Wontumi comes in there, tell him that Iyoko is looking for him. Of course, multiple state agencies can be investigating one individual for different things or even the same thing. A lot of these party supporters were quite agitated about the way this arrest is being conducted. They do not think that Wontumi is above the law, that he shouldn't be arrested or he shouldn't be prosecuted. But the manner in which it's being done suggests that we don't have a democracy and all of that. If Wontumi was running away, yes, but look at this. Look at this man agitated, shouting and talking. I was monitoring the Metro TV coverage. Yeah, that's the NPP third vice chairman, national third vice chairman of the NPP. He is completely overwhelmed. Is he not the same guy who pushed the microphone away some time back? Yes. He's a very agitated guy. He's a very strong man. And I think he's addressing the camera. He wanted the things that he's saying to get into the camera. So we have to get the latest on what is happening with Chairman Wontumi. More party people are thronging, MPP party people are thronging to the office of Yoko. The office of Yoko is at the High Street, Accra, near the office of Shraj. It used to be the serious fraud office here near Shraj, and it is now the Yoko office. You can see the soldiers and the police